CEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
God morgen alle sammen, god aften og god eftermiddag. Mit navn det er Monica Seri.
God morgon, god eftermiddag och god kväll. I am Francesca Heiskanen.
Good morning, good afternoon, good kväll, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Andre Palarasho, and welcome back to INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. So it's nice to be back here again. And before we continue, just a quick date and time check, Monica.
Yes, so today is April 27, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime, and in the Philippines, it is April 28, 3 a.m. Philippine time.
Yeah, so, and by the way, that's here. We're broadcasting live in Copenhagen, Denmark. So you might have been used to seeing Francesca and I in Sweden and in Norway. But we've gathered together here in one place because it is such a special episode tonight. And we are so happy. We're so pleased to have all of you viewers and listeners tuning in live tonight, because tonight in this episode, we are celebrating INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studios 7th anniversary. Can you believe it, Cheska, Monica?
7 years is a long time, but you've been there for all the 7 years, yes. Right?
Yeah, so just for context, we had our first airing on April 22, 2018. So can't believe it's been 7 years. Having my first broadcast as an 18-year-old, and now 7 years later, you can do the math. I don't want to say it out loud. But yeah, and of course, we're not going to be alone here. We have our fellow co-hosts, our hosts on INCRadio Northern Europe with us. And we're going to share the mic with them. And we'll discuss a little bit about our satellite studio and, of course, how it feels to be hosting. We've been hosting for such a while now, and you might be curious, how is it? So this is the time for you to really listen, learn the behind the scenes and what we do here on INCRadio. And of course, dear viewers and listeners, you're of course invited to join us in our topic discussion. The questions we will ask to our panelists are also questions for you to answer. So we would like to hear your answers in the comment section down below. So make sure to keep commenting. I know that our fans, our viewers and listeners from the District of Northern Europe are very, very good commenters. So already now, make sure to like, comment, and join us for our topic discussion.
Yes, but let's see who else we actually have in our broadcast this evening. So we'll stay in Denmark and we'll have Anna introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sister Anna Dulin. Yeah, I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark. And aside from as a host and a multimedia officer, I'm also a choir member here in the local. Yes. Nice to be here.
Thank you for being with us, Anna. Let's go to my country of Sweden, and we'll have Selena introduce herself.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I am Selena Bolander from Göteborg, Sweden, and I'm a guest right now. I almost made an introduction as a host. But yeah, aside from being a host on INCRadio, I'm also district multimedia and Booklog CFO officer in the district. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Thank you. And let's go to Norway. Judy, how about you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone watching. I'm Sister Judy Salpalerasho, local of Oslo East, choir member and multimedia officer. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you, everyone, once again for joining us in this special broadcast celebrating our 7th anniversary. I just want to take it away and ask Judy, for you, what inspired you to become a host on INCRadio?
So actually, I started off in a United Kingdom satellite studio, and I saw how fun it was to be a host, and I was asked to be a guest first, and I really enjoyed it, and that's where it all started because I really enjoyed it, and everything else is history.
That's so good. And I think for all of us, when we started out on INC Radio, we all started out as guests. You know, you become kind of recurring on INC Radio as a guest until they're finally like, just be a host already.
Yeah, we didn't. Shout out to INC Radio Central Europe, and back then, way back then, it was first actually INC Radio Germany, before they became a whole big satellite studio for the whole district there. I was asked to guest there. I had an activity to report, and we did that a couple of times. And then also shout out to, back then it was INC Radio France, who's now a part of a bigger satellite studio called INC Radio Western Europe. I was also asked to be a guest there, and through those experiences, um, the INC Radio family there was like, why not try to set up a studio here in Northern Europe? And I was one of the first hosts there for our satellite studio. And as Judy mentioned, the rest was history. It's like time flies so quickly
Yeah.
once you started joining, right, Monica?
Yeah. I joined a little bit later when it was just Northern Europe after it split.
I joined way later because I wanted to see how they did it. But yeah, it's been an exciting time. I get to host with Selena. So Selena, for you, I want to ask you the same question. What inspired you to become a host on INC Radio?
I'm not gonna mention my age, but way back in the Philippines, I'm seeing some hosts in INC Radio, and I was like, I want to try that. I want to do that, but I'm kind of shy. If you believe it, that I'm shy. But yeah, so when I was here in Northern Europe and I was given the opportunity to be a host, I said yes because I was excited to try it, even though it makes me nervous each and every broadcast. And seeing my co-officers in the multimedia, how they do it, it seems fun. Well, we were guesting before, so yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. And for me, as one of your regular co-hosts, it's been a fun and exciting time. Also, shout out to Carl Kenneth Valdez, our other host from Sweden. Let's go to Anna. And Anna, we want to ask you kind of the same question. Like, what inspired you to become an INC radio host?
Yes, I was forced by Andre. No, just kidding. Yeah, I started in 2020, if I am right, Andre. We started Denmark first airing in Denmark. That was in Feb 2020. Yes, I started as a guest as well, just like Judy and all of us here. Yeah, it was fun. And what truly inspired me was witnessing the passion and dedication of the INC Radio family. Behind a successful broadcast on INC Radio is a team of creative and hardworking brethren, united by shared desire to serve our district, to support the church administration, and most importantly, bring glory to our Almighty God. And I'm truly blessed to have the opportunity to serve the church through the production and media platform of the Church of Christ, such as INC Radio, which strives to produce life-changing content that uplifts, inspires, and strengthens the people around the world. Yes.
Yeah, and definitely, and you, I really agree with you there, because like, having INC Radio in this part of the world, it really helps us so much to showcase the unity of the brethren here in this part of the world, ecclesiastical district of Northern Europe. And it's such a blessing to be part of those people who showcase and highlight that, right? And it's such a big bonus being able to talk with the brethren across the different countries here in our district. And a very unique thing about our district, right, is we have so many countries in this district, and being able to talk with brethren and bond with them online through different countries. It's a very special feeling. It's hard to describe with words. Yeah, it's such a big inspiration, and we're thankful that we've reached 7 years now.
It's a long time.
It's a long
And
time.
it's what's so special and so unique with INCRadio in for Northern Europe is, as you mentioned, all of the different countries that consist within our district, and having the opportunity to then go to those countries, visit those congregations, see the brethren who are actually the ones tuning into our broadcasts, and finally meeting them in person. Sometimes you just see them in the live chat, you know their name, but to finally kind of put a face to the name, to meet the people in person, has been such a great blessing also. And a way for all of us to ultimately be strengthened in our faith, knowing that we have all of these brethren and all of these people kind of supporting our programs.
Yeah, and oftentimes I find myself in that situation where I've had this brother or sister as a guest, like years prior to us meeting for the first time in person, and it's like we're already good friends.
Yeah.
But that's our first time meeting each other in person, and that's what INC Radio does here, right? It really connects you with brethren all over the world, and when you actually finally get to see each other in person, it's a special feeling because it's like you've already had such a long and strong like friendship
Yeah.
before that, right? So those are one of my favorite moments. So speaking of favorite moments,
Yes, let's now that we heard our guests what inspired them to become INC Radio hosts, let's ask them what is your favorite moment on INC Radio Northern Europe. Let's ask Judy.
My favorite moment was when me and my husband now hosted this special INC radio broadcast with other districts. I believe it was the flight 107. That's what, if you don't remember, I was me and Derek were dressed up as flight attendants.
Are you not also in an airplane?
Yeah,
like
we
virtual
were-
airplane.
Our background was the airplane. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
I remember that broadcast actually.
Yeah, I think a lot of people remember
Yeah,
that
I
podcast.
think also. That's nice. But what about Selena?
For me, it was the first ever broadcast of INC Radio Northern Europe Satellite Studio in Sweden. Uh, I think Francesca can agree that we were all very nervous because from being a guest, we became a host, and it was our very first time. But it's also very exciting, but not just within the INC radio, even outside the INC radio, when we have an activity. And then there are brethren who's gonna like say hi to you. Like when we were in Prague, and then the brethren was like, "Oh, that's Casalina." And then there's a brethren from the elevator, and he was like, "I know you from INC Radio." So it was such memorable thing for me that the brethren tuned in, that they remember you, and feels like they know you and talk to you, even though it's just the first time you met them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like our first broadcast, like for Sweden, was very nerve wracking because, as Selena mentioned, like we were guests, like we were used to being guests, and we only we have our part as guests,
Yeah.
and then the hosts do everything else. But then having that responsibility to then really host and lead the discussion, lead the
Be
broadcast,
in charge.
be in charge, like that was very nerve wracking and very scary, but it was also a very learning
Yeah.
experience for us, and we take each broadcast that we have into mind for our next broadcast. And it's been a really fun and exciting time hosting with Selena and hosting with Kenneth as well. And like what Selena mentioned about like brethren coming up to you, like I watch you on INC Radio. I was like, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Thank
get-
you.
You become a little bit happy, right?
Yeah.
Like they know you from INC Radio. But I can also like say that, of course, as a new host, very nervous in the start, but then throughout the broadcast, it fades away. And in the end, when it's almost done, you'll be like, oh, it went by so fast. And I think every host can really relate to that. So thank you, Selena. How about Anna? I co-host with you almost every fifth week. So what is your favorite?
Yeah, I just want to add on that because the most critical part of hosting INC Radio is the intro sound. So I always ask
Exactly.
others to do it. And I remember, if I may share, Monica, during our first broadcast, right? I was not during your first broadcast after the show, she was screaming like, yeah, she made it. Yeah, and that was my reaction as well during my first broadcast. But yes, every episode on INC Radio is special. And one of my favorite episode as a host on INC Radio was the appreciation to the church administration that was aired in November 2024, where we had a honor of inviting the ministers as our guests, where they shared their heartfelt gratitude to the church administration. And it was truly touching and unforgettable experience for me. And another favorite moment was the recent virtual fun games. I think it's our favorite now with Monica.
The virtual games, everyone likes that.
Yes,
I
with the
even
started with the multimedia and then with the binhi, the kadiwa, and the last one was the buklod. It was a heartwarming to see uh, how even across distances we were able to bond as a district, and it strengthened the brotherhood virtually. Yeah, so that's my favorite.
not even the guests online, but also the live chat, like the
Oh
bots
yeah,
that also
right,
participate.
correct.
So it was really nice to see that.
Yes.
And we actually want to see more live chat participation. So for everyone tuning in right now, we want to also ask you, what is your favorite moment on INC Radio Northern Europe Satellite Studio? So please type that up in the live chat and we'll do our very best to read that later on.
Yeah, so make sure to type those in. We will definitely look for those comments. We are following the comments. So again, if you have any shout outs as well, you want to shout out, add in the answer for our question, and we'll be sure to read that as well. So there are so many moments, and a lot of them are very spontaneous, right? Because we're live on air, and we usually don't have a very detailed script, right? It's all happening live, and that's such a special moment. And it's funny that you all have so much different experiences that is your favorite. And I also want to go back to what Judy Sell mentioned about the flight 107. That's also one of the special broadcasts we had as a collaboration of the European Satellite Studio for the 107th anniversary of the church. So flight 107, you can still check that out. It's still there and in our YouTube channel, INC Radio DZEM 954. So you can still check that out. And I see we have so many comments already. But again, we want to ask you the question: what is your favorite moment here on INC Radio, Northern Europe Satellite Studio? Now, you have your favorite moments as well, right? Monica, what was your favorite moment?
I have a lot of favorites, but I think actually whenever we have this anniversary broadcast, it's my favorite because then a whole year has passed by and we reflect on the whole year and our different broadcasts and also the success we had. So yeah, my favorite is the anniversary.
Right. So obviously there are many moments that you will always remember. But one thing, especially for us hosts, that we remember is how we were the first time we hosted and how we were now. Right. There are so many so many lessons to be learned. So I want to go back to Judy, and I want to ask you, what have you learned the most being on INC Radio?
So being on INC Radio, I learned that it's a GT I really enjoy. It's fun, and I get to learn about other brethren's experiences, which is very inspiring actually. And I get to meet brethren I haven't met before, and INC Radio has helped me to become more confident and all the more stronger in my faith.
Yeah, there's so many lessons to be taken from being an INC radio officers, and you mentioned some of them there. So thank you so much for hosting with us, Judy. We're always happy to be your co-host.
Yeah.
And how about going back to Selena? I know you're also one of the newer hosts, or actually one of the newest addition to our hosting crew. But despite the short time, right? It's already been like
One and
just
a
just
half
yeah, one
years
and a half
almost.
years. I'm sure with just those that time, you already have learned a lot, right, Selena?
Actually, I learned to be like more I don't know how to say this, but like more trusting with my co-host and let things that sometimes things doesn't go the way we planned, but we just have to keep going and we have to not panic on it because we're live. That's very, very hard, like to control yourself, your emotions, and just do what you can do because you're live on air. Because no matter how we try to prepare our guests and ourselves, there are still things that doesn't happen the way we planned it. So it's how we handle things and we trust one another. And we're very blessed in our in Sweden because there's three of us there. So may it be like I made a little error or sometimes technological problem. The others are there to always catch me and vice versa. So I was very thankful to Kenneth and Francesca. But other than that, I also learned a lot each and every broadcast, not just in Sweden but in other broadcasts, because we have amazing and educational topics. It's very inspirational and educational. So every time I can say that my knowledge is broadened and I learned more each and every broadcast from each of the brethren from different districts based on their skills and experience.
Yeah, so shout out also to the brethren there in the District of Northern Europe, because you're accepting our invitations and also sharing your knowledge for those very educational or specialized
Yeah.
broadcasts, right? So just a while ago we had a topic about musical instruments. Their brethren, shout out to the brethren who shared their knowledge on that instrument they had, and who knows, perhaps someone picked up an instrument because of what they said there live on air. And that's just such a special feeling. And I can especially relate to what you said about improvising. We improvise all the time. Even now before the broadcast, we had to improvise some of the setup because as you said, well, we can always plan things, but we never know until on the actual event. But those are the moments that make it even more special being on IC Radio, because it is on those moments you realize that truly our Lord God is always with us, right? He always makes a way for us to succeed. So yeah, it's a very very special feeling to have that lesson, that you're learning that right as you're performing your duty on air. So thank you for sharing that with us, Selena. How about going back to Copenhagen with us, Ataana?
Yes, being an INC radio host has been a truly humbling and transformative experience for me. As someone who was once shy and reserved, I never imagined I would have the ability to host. But through the INC radio, I must say that I have improved my confidence and developed the skills to express myself more effectively. And through INC radio, I have, like the others, I have developed new skills, expanded my knowledge, and strengthened my ability to connect with others. And most of all, I am grateful for the friendship I have built with our guests, a fellow host, and the amazing production team.
I have to agree with that, Anna, about like, hosting isn't necessarily something that comes natural to someone. You really have to make an effort to put yourself out there. So I think for all hosts, and especially those who are a bit shy, it that's something that kind of challenges us. But because this is a duty that we are performing, because we are performing our duties, we give it our utmost, we give it our very best. And with what you said, you gain the confidence. It's still, you're still shy, but you still have this confidence and this feeling that you can talk in front of people, in front of an audience, and about learning and gaining new skills. Like for all of us, really, like you learn how to edit, you learn how to talk, you learn how to do this and do that, because it's what is needed for the broadcast. So that's kind of also what I've learned, and that's also something that's really exciting about being a host on INC Radio is, as Anna mentioned, the confidence you gain, the skills you also gain, and the things that you learn that you can then use not just for being a host on INC Radio, but for all of your other duties inside the church, and also not just for your duties, but for things that you can also use for your livelihood, for your hobbies, whatever it may be. So, yeah, being on INC Radio is really all around for for everything, really. So, thank you for that.
Definitely, and one of the things that really made me grateful is when I applied for my part-time job, um, the 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 interviewer was really like, he really focused on you being high energy, really being very extroverted. And if I looked at myself 7 years ago when we first started, that was like the complete opposite of of how I was. And being a host now for 7 years, it definitely has changed me. And when I went up to that interview and I got that job, he really said that, yes, I really like your communication, and that you really showed high energy. And it got me thinking back to those early days 7 years ago before we started INC Radio Northern Europe. It was like, wow, this is truly something that happened because of INC Radio. So the skills you gain here is so valuable. So again, as Francesca mentioned to the viewers and listeners, if you are the type of person who are struggling with connecting with others, communicating, and even just showing that you want to really engage and communicate and bond with someone, but you're struggling with that, then you know I can tell you, so many of us, I'd say 80% of the hosts here, started as really shy, reserved, and really struggled to communicate. And now, here they are, here we are. And I see Ate Selena smiling in the background. She can really relate to
She's
that. So
agreeing.
she's agreeing. And again, and remember, the original listeners, this is also this is a duty. So what better way to hone your skills, improve them, while performing your duty and performing them to our Almighty God. So it truly is a blessing, and I'm really thankful that we've come so far, 7 years now on IC Radio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. And of course, we wouldn't have come this far without the support of the entire district, especially the ones leading our district. So actually, we didn't mention this, but we also have very, very special guests, very special panelists with us tonight. And it is actually our CFO overseer and our district supervising minister. So we want to give the mic to them. I don't know who wants to
Who wants to
who
start?
wants to go first, brother Oliver, brother Rizar. So
Good evening po to everyone. Oliver.
good evening, Rizar, and brother Oliver po.
Good evening po, Kabisar po, brethren. Good evening po. Hi po.
First of all, we would like to greet and congratulate our brethren who are leading our Northern Europe INC Radio satellite studio for reaching the 7th year We know that this is a great blessing with the help of our Almighty God that we have reached this milestone. So we continue to praise our Father in heaven and, of course, our dearest church administration, our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and likewise our CFO coordinator, our brother Angelo Iranio V. Manalo, for their continuous support and their love and their inspiration to each and every one of us. That's why I believe that with their guidance, all the satellite studios around the world continues to grow and flourish because of their love and the support. For us here in our district, we would like to congratulate all the hosts. Brother Andre, Andre is the one that's been here the longest, so we can call him Kuya. And the others who are helping out, we thank all of your hard work, uh, my brethren, that you continue to do your part and you continue to share your faith. Brother Oliver.
Yes po, Kabisar po. Thank you po. And beloved brethren, uh, I would like to also congratulate po our studio po, Northern Europe, for the continuous success being given to us by our Lord God through the help and guidance of the church administration po. It's so humbling to see po. Actually po, I was there in the very first airing po or broadcast po of INC Radio. It was there in the old place of worship of Oslo po. And I can still remember, the feeling of those who started po, including Ka Andre po. But I can see that there's no change naman in Ka Andre. He remains so young looking po
Yeah.
as years are passing by po. Opo. Yeah, we could truly witness po the fulfillment of God's promise to the entire church po, being led by our dearest executive minister po, Brother Eduardo B. Manalo, and which is also felt po by all of the brethren in the different districts po and in the different studios po of the Church of Christ po. Thank you very much po for this opportunity to be able to greet our station po. And we promise po to our church administration po, to our dearest executive minister that we here in the Northern Europe po, through the leadership po of our beloved district minister po, Bisar po, Belsita po, we will remain united with the executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and also with Brother Angelo Iranio V. Manalo, our CFO coordinator po. I would like also to take the chance po to say belated happy birthday po to our district minister po, Kabisar po. Belated happy birthday po. And to other celebrants po this month of April po.
Thank you so much po, Ka Oliver po and Ka Vizar po. Truly, this success we've been having in our satellite studio is through the leadership po of all the ministers and everyone here in the district of Northern Europe. So thank you so much for your continued support, dear viewers and listeners. We have so many participants right now. I'm looking at the comment screen and it's not staying still. It's like there's a new page every second. So I'm struggling to keep up with the comment section, but that shows how strong, how united all the brethren here uh, are in the district of Northern Europe. So a huge shout out to all our viewers and listeners there. Now, of course, in our district, as mentioned, we are comprised of so many countries, over 14 countries and territories. So and only for our satellite studio, we're we're representing only five languages, right? So there are more languages to represent. So again, we are making this request to all viewers and listeners, especially in Northern Europe. If you really want to showcase your language, a unique language, local language there, we encourage you to also join us on IC Radio, not only as a guest, but also in the future as a
As a
host,
host.
as many of us were in the beginning, basically all of us, right? So as part of that, we actually have just to showcase again some of the languages. We've prepared a quick a language tutorial, and again, this is one of my favorite segments. It's called Let's Learn. So we have Kuya Polly and Kuya Irene to help us. So let's listen and let's watch and learn. Let's learn. So again, it's our language translation segment. Let's learn whenever you are ready. To our Kuya Pong and Kuya Irene. Learn Norwegian. Welcome back to Let's Learn. Today, we're not only going to learn Norwegian, we're also going to learn some Danish, Swedish, Finnish, and also German. Because tonight is a very, very special broadcast. We're celebrating our 7th anniversary here on INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. So with that, we're going to be translating some common words when it comes to radio broadcasting. Let's go. So our first word is of course radio. In Norwegian, that is radio. Radio. Next up, broadcast. In Norwegian, broadcast is sending. Sending. And of course, with that, we need a microphone. In Norwegian, microphone is mikrofon. Mikrofon.
What is speakers in Finnish? In Finnish, speakers is kaiuttimet. Kaiuttimet. What is sounds in the Finnish language? In the Finnish language, we say äänet. Äänet. How about radio station? Radio station in Finnish is radioasema. Radioasema.
In Danish, frequency, frekvens, frekvens. Guest, guest, guest. Host, vært, vært. In German, news is Nachrichten, Nachrichten. Interview is interview, interview. Announcement is Ankündigung, Ankündigung.
For words in Swedish, anniversary is jubileum, jubileum. Celebration is firande, firande. Blessing is välsignelse, välsignelse. Blessing.
So those were some common words related to radio broadcasting. We truly hope that you've enjoyed our segment once again. This is called Let's Learn, and we'll see you again next time. Vi ses nästa gång. All right, so those were some of the languages that represent our district. Again, we have many more languages, so you could just check out the countries and see for yourself. Maybe give us a visit, and we'll be happy to tour you here in our district. And of course, we've discussed some of the things that we learn and we enjoy being an INC radio officer. And Anna Dulin mentioned earlier about meeting guests and finding out about their activities that they've been having in their local congregation. So this is actually that part that we also want to showcase. So we have some activities that we want to showcase held here in the district of Northern Europe. So starting up first is
The CWS Tagisan ng Talino in Copenhagen. So I think we have some pictures. But in the local congregation of Copenhagen, Denmark, the Children's Worship Service, or CWS, held a special activity called Tagisan ng Talino, or Battle of the Brains. The activity was a great success as it not only promoted learning, but also strengthening the faith and unity of the church CWS members.
Yes. And for our next activity, let's actually go to the local congregation of Stockholm. So, the local congregation of Stockholm, Sweden, and the District of Northern Europe recently held a Learn and Study Time activity for the young members of the Children's Worship Service, or CWS. Organized and led by the dedicated CWS officers, the event aimed to support the children's academic development. During the activity, the young participants were guided in learning how to read, write, and count. More than just an educational opportunity, this gathering also served to strengthen the bond of brotherhood among the children, nurturing both their minds and their unity in faith.
right. So these are so much fun activities, and they're being held for children as well,
It's so
right?
exciting to see.
So it's amazing, and a huge shout out to the church administration that we're having activities not only for those in our age and also the adults and the younger adults, or let's say like 5 years younger than me, the youth. And but also for the children, as you can see there in the photo. They're so interesting. And we also have another activity that we want to showcase. This was district wide, and so for this one we also have pictures to showcase. The district here in Northern Europe held a special gathering for the officers of the Light of Salvation, or LOS, led by the district supervising minister, Brother Bizarre Balsita. And during the occasion, newly appointed officers took their oath, which marks the beginning of their holy duty in service to the church. So with the help of our Almighty God, the brethren in attendance left the event deeply inspired and even more committed to fulfilling their sacred duties within the Church of Christ. And it was also good reminders for all of us, officers in general. Being an officer inside the Church of Christ is such a huge blessing, right? And there might be those viewers and listeners who are tuning in who might not have an office yet inside the Church of Christ. And for us, we deeply, deeply encourage you. It is so fun and so fulfilling, right? And there are so many things that you learn in life that will be useful outside of church as well, right? In your livelihood, in meeting new friends, in connecting with people around the world. I can say with full confidence that having a duty inside the church, having an office, is one of the greatest blessings in life. Don't you agree, sisters?
Couldn't agree more.
Right. And again, these are just some of the activities being held here in the district. So check out in your area, in your local congregation, and I'm sure there will be more and more activities. So stay tuned for that. And one thing, going back to INCRadio, that is so special. It's not only the skills you learn, the brethren you connect with from your district, but it's also outside your district.
Mhm.
Here in INCRadio, we're one big family, and we have friends, loved ones on INCRadio outside our district as well. And they were very kind to send us a greeting, actually, and we want to showcase that as well. So, Kwepong Kwerin, let's hear the greetings coming from the different satellite studios around the world, greeting us for our 7th anniversary.
On behalf of INCRadio Western Europe Satellite Studio, we would like to greet INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio happy 7th anniversary.
We at INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio would like to congratulate INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio on your 7th anniversary, wishing you continued success and more inspiring broadcasts ahead.
From INC Radio Italy South Satellite Studio, we would like to greet INC Radio Italy North Satellite Studio a happy 7th anniversary.
From the INC Radio Mediterranean Satellite Studio, we would like to greet the INC Radio Northern Europe a happy 7th anniversary.
I'm Brother Eric Along. I want to greet you. Happy 7th anniversary, INC Radio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. When we heard that you are consistently number 1 in INC Radio ranking abroad, I thank God because God grants you success for your efforts and love for the church and our radio station. Congratulations and again, happy anniversary po.
Sa lahat po ng bumubuo ng Northern Europe Satellite Studio, mula po dito sa amin sa main studio ng INC Radio.
We would like to greet Northern Europe Satellite Studio on your 7th anniversary.
At dahil consistent kayo sa pagiging number 1 sa live views, purihin po ang ating Panginoong Diyos.
Nais din po naming pasalamatan ang district staff mula po sa tagapangasiwa, ang kapatid na Visar Balsita, at sa inyo pong lahat na naririyan sa Northern Europe Satellite Studio.
Mula po dito sa INC Radio Main Studio, pinabati po namin ang mga kapatid yan sa Northern Europe Satellite Studio ng
Happy 7th Anniversary po!
Yes, that was some really, really nice greetings. And it kind of warmed my heart to see so many greeting us on our 7th anniversary. So thank you so much for sending the greetings. But now, speaking of greetings, let's ask our guests if they want to give their shout outs. So let's start with Selena.
Yes, of course. I'd like to give my shout out to our destinado and our KSKP brother Oliver Nugget, and of course our district supervising minister brother Vizar Balsita, and to my mom who never failed to support INC Radio even though it's very early morning in the Philippines. Hi, Mama. And to all the guests that we had from our first ever broadcast in Sweden. Thank you so much for being part of INC Radio Northern Europe Satellite Studio. And we are hoping to have you as a guest once again in the near future. And of course, to my husband and my son and to everyone, a happy 7th anniversary to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Selena. And then let's ask Judy of her greetings and shout outs.
Shout out to my family, the Eslau family, the Palerasio, Santos, Salazar, and everyone in the local of Oslo and Oslo East, and to our resident minister, Brother Rodam Malyari, and his whole family. And happy belated 1 year of marriage to my sister-in-law, Clarice, and Brother Dom. And happy anniversary to our satellite, and belated happy birthday to our district minister, Brother Bizar Basita. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And Anna?
Yes, yes, I just want to add because Brother Eric mentioned that INC Radio Northern Europe is top. And I remember when I invited as a guest during the satellite studio review, they asked me what's the key of success of INC Radio Northern Europe. And my answer was that was because of the help and mercy of our Lord God, the guidance of our ministers in the district, and of course, the unity and active participation of the brethren here in Northern Europe. And because of that, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to all the brethren around the world, with special thanks to our brethren here in Northern Europe for their unwavering support. Your contributions have been instrumental in making the INC Radio Satellite Studios weekly Sunday bonding activity. We truly appreciate your continued support, dedication, and support. And again, a special thanks to Brother Oliver Nugget, our KSKP, our district minister, Brother Bizar Balsita, for their guidance and support. Yes, po, and happy birthday po, Brother Bizar Balsita.
Thank you so much. And then speaking of Ka Oliver, Oliver and Brother Rizar, perhaps for Brother Oliver, do you have any final shout outs that you'd like to greet po?
Yes po, Andre po. Um, I'd like to greet po all of the brethren here in Copenhagen po, as well as in the other congregations po of Horsens, Boyens, Kern, and in Greenland po as well. And of course po, our brethren in the congregations of Mjøndalen, Larvik po, Rjukan, Trondheim, and to my beloved wife po, who also celebrated her birthday po. Happy birthday po to Sister Divine po. Hello to my two children po, Sister Tessa and Brother Caleb po. Thank you very much po, Andre po, and to the rest of the host po. Thank you po.
Thank you po.
And last but not least, Brother Rizar Balsita po, do you have any shout outs?
Again, we'd just like to commend everyone on the satellite studio, of course, here in Northern Europe, but of course, all around the world for everyone's hard dedication and support to all our activities. And we also mentioned, like Anna said, the brethren, what makes everything work. If they are united in these activities, we bring all the glory and honor to God. May all the ministers and the workers continue their support and also their encouragement to our brethren, and all the more reach that high level of serving our Almighty God. And thank you again very much to all of you po, mga kapatid, for all your help and hard work. We praise our God.
Thank you so much po, Brother Rizar, for your excellent leadership po, in being such a vital part of the success of INCRadio Northern Europe Satellite Studio po. And we had some birthday greetings earlier. We have lots of April celebrants in our district, and we would like to mention their names here.
So I'll start with the brethren in my congregation of Lund, Sweden. So we have David Valle, Emily Hult, Arta Heiskanen, Hans Lind, Mary Ann Tingvold, who have their birthdays. Who else do we have?
Going to my congregation, Oslo East, and also Oslo, we have my cousins Derek and Dominic Palerasio, Randy Salvo, Sister Bibian Pineda, Makli Ramirez, and going to Mjøndalen, there we have Sister Divine Nugget and Jocelyn Janssen.
Yes, now let's go to my
Your
congregation
congregation.
in Copenhagen. We have Lorna Lopez, Ernalyn Seri, my mom, happy birthday, and Mika Hitpan, Louis Joy Buck, Abriana Johansson, Salve Johansson, who also celebrated her birthday today, and Kevin Rosenberg.
Yes, and let's go to Finland. So in Helsinki, we have Senaida Aglipai. In Vanta, we have Hesse Tanskanen. In Gothenburg, Sweden, we have Leslie Mina and Tammy Brillantes. Stockholm, there's Lars Trapp, Ian Flores, Samuel Hermansson, Esperanza Atienza, and also Redem Zion Laquesta, who had her first birthday. So happy birthday. And who else we have?
Let's go to Budapest, Hungary. We have Maria Shane Canson, Mark Ian David, Colleen Turla, Marjorie Teves, Lawrence Glenn Pag-ong, and also in our district of Northern Europe, Emmy Coloma, April Rose Kim Mayong, Maricel Malyari, and Merly Mendoza.
And in Vienna, West Austria, we have Virginia Valenzuela, Renato Alimboyugen, Gemma Ballesteros, Kim Yuri, Geb, Mark Muega, Herminia Muega, Cristina Muega, and Hippolita Gabriel.
And a huge shout out to everyone and to our ministers and ministerial workers. We also have April celebrants, Brother Fred Rigor and Brother MK Villarroel. I think it's his birthday today, right?
Is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Paul, Brother MK. And again, belated happy birthday to Brother Vizar Balsita, our district supervising minister. So also from the main studio, our technicians Kuya Pong and Kuya Rin have prepared a very, very special performance. I think it's their favorite song. It's their happy birthday song from Kuya Pong and Kuya Rin po. So let's hear it, brethren. I think they will.
Happy birthday to you. Maligayang pati sa'yo. Happy birthday to you. Maligayang pati sa'yo. Happy birthday po!
So happy birthday to our April celebrants.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! But as mentioned earlier, we're nervous in the start, but then in the ending, we want to be online even more because we are ending our broadcast very, very soon. So of course, we want to thank all our guests, our very special guests, and of course to our Kuya Tech, Kuya Pong and Kuya Irene for being with us here today. Who else?
Yes, and of course, we would like to thank our beloved executive minister. So thank you, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our executive minister, for having INC radio programs such as this, and to Brother Angelo Aranyo Manalo, CEBSI president and CEO and Christian Family Organizations coordinator. Thank you, po.
Oh, and before we forget, also happy birthday to Sister Irene Metzinger from Steyr, also Austria. And of course, through the great leadership also as from our INC Media Productions section chief, Brother Montrevel Boy, our station manager, INC Radio subsection chief, Brother Wali Taray.
Yes, and of course, we cannot forget to thank our beloved district supervising minister, Brother Rizar Basilta. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday again, po. And then, of course, to our district CFO overseer, Brother Oliver Nugget.
Thank you, po.
And thank you so much. Again, this has been INC Radio, Northern Europe Satellite Studio. You can catch us live every Sundays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central European Summer Time, which is in Monday, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Philippine time. So it's been so much fun. We've been going for 7 years now, and we look forward to many, many more years moving forward. So again, thank you so much, all our viewers and listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening whenever you may be watching this. We hope you have a fantastic day, fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next time here on INC Radio, Northern Europe Satellite Studio. Until next time, we says.
We says.
We says.